This is Great Talks. Hi guys, hola, welcome to Great Talks, and of course, I'm your host Ibuka. This is Great Talks, where we talk about faith, love, and growth. Welcome, and if you're just joining us, welcome to the fold. Don't forget to like, share, and follow and subscribe. Today, as usual, I have a very interesting topic. This is quite an uncommon thought, though, but yeah, let's talk about it. I want to talk about the importance of valuing the so-called big people in your life and why you shouldn't reduce high capacity relationships to low capacity requests. Now, before you try to figure out what I'm trying to say, let me begin with these thoughts. Not every, and no matter how difficult this thing is to grasp, not every influential or wealthy person that you have their contact on your phone is meant to solve your problem with money, or is meant to give you money, so to say, or is even meant to solve a small problem. Some are meant to shift your entire life. I mean, literally shift your entire life, give you that paradigm shift. Because we live in a world where having someone's number, can deceive you into thinking that you have access to them. And when you have access to somebody, it feels like, okay, you are like the dawn. I will just call somebody. Oh, I will just call my uncle. But access is not necessarily proximity, and definitely proximity is not license. Let me give you a background story. So there was a period in my life where I was struggling really hard. When I mean struggle, I was struggling really hard. So I just went through my phone contact and I saw a certain, I was just going through my phone contact. I said to myself, okay, Ebuka, who can you call? Who can you talk to? Who can drop something for you? Just to grease the hand and grease and grease the palm or something. Who can do something for you? And then a name came up while I was scrolling. I saw a name, and then immediately I saw that name. Something deep within my spirit just says, don't do it. Now, I did not understand what that meant as at that time. It says, don't do it. And this person can actually help me. I mean, I could ask her for something and she would give it to me willingly. I mean, maybe not willingly, but there's a way I probably would know how to say it. Somebody who is begging would know how to beg very well, beg with finesse or something. So, with emotions, so the person feels it. But something within my spirit just says, don't do it. Now, fast forward later, I met this woman at her office, and while I went to see her, she was busy talking to somebody, and rather she was on the phone. She was in a meeting with somebody. So I was there. I was. She saw me. I was waiting for her, and then she was still on the call. So I said, "Oh, I motioned that I wanted to leave, and she gestured to me to stay behind and sit. Wait for her to finish her call, and then I waited. So while I waited, somebody came to see her also. A lady came in, and within just a few minutes, say 2-3 minutes of the lady walking into her office, she was done. While she was done, we exchanged pleasantries. I call her Nemo, I call her, like that. So in Nemo in Igbo means, in English, it's an Igbo language, it means my mother, something like that. So I tease her like that. So while I said that, we're just exchanging pleasantries and the likes. So while I was about to leave, after talking to the lady that was with her, the woman that was also with her, so while I was about to leave, I was like, she introduced me and said, "Oh, this is my son." And then while she said, "This is my son," she put her hand on my shoulder. And then I was saying something like, "Oh, I'm the son." I was touching my own tummy and say, "Oh, I'm the son from her womb." And the woman, next to her, just next to that was with her, just when Yoruba say Yimu, because obviously I look nothing like her. I'm not as flamboyant or whatever, maybe like that, but I look nothing like her, definitely. And I'm dark skinned, she's light skinned. So while that went on, just give me that side eye look as to say, who born you? That kind of thing. So while I was leaving, what she said to that woman was, "Oh," she still repeated it again, "This is my son, so anywhere you see him, help him." And then I realized how important that particular statement was as to why I did not ask her while I was scrolling through my phone, why I did not ask her. Because sometimes you can have somebody's number who is capable of giving you, something, but the request is not the problem. If you ask them for a little change of, because as at that period I needed like maybe 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. As at that period, I could get it. The request does not look small to them. The request is not the problem. The problem is that it looks, or it projects an unawareness from you. And let me give you an understanding. When I realized what had just happened between that period when I didn't ask her for that money and then what she said, the funny thing is, over time, this didn't happen, say, years ago, because you might be asking me, okay, did that woman actually help you? Because that's not the point I'm asking. That's not what I'm saying. Because when an issue would come up and that woman is in the mix of that issue, I'm sure she'll remember that she saw me with this woman. And then I remembered what I'm preaching that Apostle Simon gave with a title called "This Grace Called Favor." So he gave a sermon about how, I think it was a lawyer or something. Just go and listen to that sermon. It was very relatable to what I said, and it gave me a very important lesson that I learned. Because in life, the size of the request often reveals the size of your awareness of the person. Because I said initially that high capacity relationship, if I had asked for that petty change from her, most likely I would ruin the kind of relationship that we have. And this is the reason why. When I said, because in life the size of your request often reveals the size of your awareness, it's the same capacity that we have when we go to church. When they say, oh, you're in the presence of God, some of us still do very non-worthy of the presence of God thing. And that is because we don't see him. We are not aware of his presence. We don't recognize that thing. That is why when M Revelation sang that Aina Tugegu, the song Aina Tugegu, it gave me a reasoning to say, it is not a case of saying we are scared of you, Lord, or we fear you, Lord. It's a point of, we reference your presence. We reference you because we understand, we are aware of how mighty, of your capacity. We are aware of your capacity. One thing I've learned also is that honor is a powerful currency in human relationship. It's more powerful than money. It's more powerful than intelligence. It's also very much powerful than talent. You have to understand that when you honor some certain people in your life, because of the capacity that they have. Remember what I said. They have the capacity to give me what I ask for. But there are certain people that the capacity that they play, the role that they play in your life is bigger than the change. But they want you to come into that awareness that you have a certain capacity built about them in your head. So the capacity that you have depends on the awareness that you have of them, right? So at some point, when you approach someone with high capacity with a low request, you unintentionally communicate dishonor. It is like when you ask, say for example, a president, say Bill Gates for example. Bill Gates says, when they say things like, oh, a date with somebody, or $10 million, a date with something, as much as that sounds very, catchy to ask for the money, but there's something that the person's presence, the honor that you give to the person, than for the person to realize that it is not just the funds that you're coming for. Because you need to understand that if you ask people for small things, those kind of people, if you ask them for those small things, there's a time where they see your call and they just say, oh, this one they asking. I've literally seen that happen before. I've seen that sort of occurrence before, where you would call a person and then the person says things like, oh, this one, I know some money you can't ask. Forgive my language, I know some money you can't ask. But listen, if the only thing a rich contact can do for you is to give you those little bit of change, your thinking is too small for that kind of relationship. Some people are not there to just give you money. They are there to position you. The wisdom that you need, the wisdom and the visibility, assets that they can give to you that money cannot give to you. And that's why those people are there. That's what you need to understand. That's what I want you to understand. That I've also learned that if you constantly approach people for small reliefs, they will never trust you with big things. As much as this thing sounds very tricky, it is the very honest truth. And this is not to diminish or make invalid your pain as at that time, your your need as at that time. But I'm saying there are some people, and we can have two truths. You have the need for, let's say, 10,000, but there are some people, which is also the truth, that you must not, you can ask for money, but you must not ask them for money. You can ask them for money, but you must not ask, because the capacity that they play in your life is bigger than that funds, that immediate need. People watch your patterns, they study your priorities, they study your discipline. So when they feel like, when they give you this, I've also seen this one happen, personally. When they feel like, when they give you money, the first thing you think about is food. When they give you money, the first thing you think about is how to sort your immediate needs, no long term. It means that they can't give you something. They can't entrust responsibilities, bigger responsibilities to you. Nobody becomes a manager of big things if they cannot manage a small thing. That's what I've learned. If every time your name shows up, like I said, when your name shows up on somebody's phone, they know that is I need something, they will stop taking you seriously, because they know that they don't, I've also realized something with wealthy people. As much as, maybe this is why you call them, this is why I never call anybody. I don't know. I've never tried to call anybody. I don't know, but I've actually, I keep saying I don't know, but yeah, it's the truth. I don't think I remember calling or accusing any rich person of being stingy. I don't know if I have, because number one, I am not entitled to their wealth. Do you understand? If somebody gives you something out of the benevolence of their heart, it's because they want to, not because they are entitled to. So I don't know. This is the reason why most people think some people are stingy. Some people are, yes, maybe they have, what my people will call akaradites, like that's akagom. Yes. Some people might have it because it's naturally to them. Even if they have a small thing or they have a big thing, they would always be like that. But there's a reason why wealthy people or affluent people don't give that much funds to people or want to help people. It's because they feel like what they know or what the capacity they are in now is to think big. Say, for example, if I have, say, 1 million naira, I want to see how I can use that 1 million naira, put in a big project also that can extend to, that can bring out, say, 10 million, for example. I cannot think I have 1 million and be looking at 100,000 naira project. Maybe yes, this cannot be totally correct in itself, but I'm sure you understand what I mean. I cannot have a 10 million naira mind and be looking at a 10,000 naira project. It's not possible. I need to look at the capacity of 10 million naira, and that's how it is. Not every hand that can help should be touched casually. Value is measured by how you access people. Value is measured by how you use the access that you have to people. When you misuse the access that you have to people, they withdraw that access from you. And don't forget, proximity is not license. Proximity is never license. If you have somebody that you know that needs to hear this, please share. Thank you for listening today. If this episode, like I said, spoke to you, share with someone who needs the reminder. And just remember, as always, grow capacity. I think that's just all I've been saying since. Capacity, honor your connections. Capacity, honor the connections that you have, and choose your battles. Choose the urgency that you will require to meet the people that have the capacity to do them for you. And as always remember there's always more. I remain your very, 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 very humble host, Ebuka, and you're listening to Great Talks. Please don't forget to share, don't forget to like, don't forget to follow. See you on next episode. Au revoir.